What's up guys, today I want to show you my favorite SearchView library, and in short that's what it's gonna look like. Once again, it opens up in the toolbar like and looks like a menu item, just like on your YouTube app. You search, press submit, and search some stuff. Clear your search, and when you press back, you go back to the original list and clear your search. Alright, let's get started. I'm gonna create a new project. And here's the libraries that I'm using. It's called Material SearchView. Great stuff. So first, what I always like to do is enable data binding. If you don't know about data binding, you can check some of my posts in the description. That's how you set it up. So data binding is a great way to improve your layout built-in speed. And then I'm gonna wrap my main activity. I don't need the float and action button. Just gonna delete that. And this setup in here for data binding. Alright, I don't need this. First, you need to add this library to your dependencies. Sync the project. Alright, let's start adding our search view. And since in most cases we're using a bar layout, I have it's wrapped with a bar layout. So as you see here, it goes a bar layout, then frame layout, and inside of the toolbar we got our material search view, which takes all the width of toolbar and wraps content. And if you don't want to use a bar layout, you can just unwrap it and delete it and leave it like this with the frame layout on top of the hierarchy. And that's basically it for a layout. And since it looks like a menu item, it's actually implemented that way. So go to your menu.xml and replace your menu item with this. It's gonna be this icon, and you don't need to add any drawable. This one comes from the library. Then you need to inflate your menu and call set menu item. action search, which is an ID of this item. Now let's run this. Okay, here is our search view. It expands. We can type some text, clear it up with the X button, submit search, which does nothing for now, and yes, basically it's here and working. Now before actually implementing event handling for SearchView, let's add a list to display some countries with Recyclerview. If you don't know about Recyclerview, I'm gonna link the post link in the description. Check that out. First I'm gonna create actually a layout item. Since it's gonna be just one text view, it's gonna be a frame layout. Using data binding again. Margins start. And here is gonna be our text view for displaying some countries with ID text. Alright, down here, let's create a holder. Right, down here, the final part is I need an adapter. Of holder and a constructor which takes a list of strings, which are countries, and first context. Countries, no. Alright, and just a few adapter implementations here. Size, create a list item, inflate a list item. Actually using data binding. Layout for list item. All right. And that's how you create implement Recyclerview with data binding. Countries, get for position, get an item for the position. It's gonna be country, and then set the text for this position. Alright, done here. Let's add a Recyclerview to our main activity. Since I'm using data binding and include, I'm gonna need an ID here to access this layout. Might seem like an overkill, but I just like the data binding. And here is gonna be our Recyclerview with ID of list. Now let's set up a list. Include, you see here, I don't see a list from here, but I see include, and there I see list. That's because I'm using include layout. Set layout manager. And now include list set adapter. And first I want to populate my list of countries. It's gonna be a list of strings, the stuff that we're gonna display in Recyclerview. I need to extract it as a field. Okay, and now the hardest part, adding those strings. So I found this page with the list of strings, right? So you copy and just paste, right? And it doesn't work. Let's try to just copy paste and put it like that. Doesn't work. So the way to insert multiple strings in different lines is that you first copy those add statements, and then either if you got a mouse you can use you can hold middle button. So I'm using keyboard, and using the keyboard you need to double press Alt, then hold it and click arrow down. And here we've got a multiple cursor, and then just paste strings, and it just works. Let's copy more. I'm not gonna copy all the strings, I mean all the countries, just a few of them. Here it is. Yeah, and I think that's gonna be just enough. Alright, let's populate countries, and let's create an adapter. Which takes context and countries. Adapter, I need it as a field to access later. Okay, let's try it. Whoops, I have a wrong list item height. Should be 56 dp. Here it is, our list of few countries, and let's implement search events now. Gonna create a setup search. So as you see, I always create methods first and then some code in it, and methods always say what's intended to do in there. The stuff I learned in a great book called Clean Code by Uncle Bob. You can find it in the description. Definitely check that out. I mean, before my code was a mess, now it's slightly better. Okay, set up search. I'm gonna access my search view and set search, yes, on query text listener. Okay, we got our two methods, on query text submit and on query text change. So the second one is a real-time search and first one is on submit. So if you want to search in real time while typing, use the second method. If you just want to submit, to search and submit, then use first method implementation, and then you're gonna search by clicking on this button. I'm gonna just use the first one, and if you implement one, you need to return true to tell SearchView that you handle this implementation. If you return false, then on submit, your SearchView is gonna close like that. If you return true, you submit and your SearchView is still open, which is gonna help us in the future. Alright, and I'm gonna call it process query. Probably there's some better names for it, like filter or search, something. Alright, and here I'm gonna create a temporary list for filtering. So what I'm strings. So what I want is to create an type insensitive search query for strings for countries containing this string in my query, right? It's gonna be a result case insensitive search. Iterate over countries and check if country to lowercase, once again it's case insensitive, contains query to lowercase. Oops. If so, then add this country to result. Country. After that, I'm gonna set this resultant list to our Recyclerview. So first I wanna create a convenient method in Recyclerview adapter, set countries, which takes list of strings, countries, and this countries equals countries, and notify dataset changed. You always need to call this after change Recyclerview list items, and then I can simply use my method set countries result. I'm typing, nothing changed this because I'm using on submit listener. Alright, after submitting it searches for this string in our list. An empty string doesn't work. You can press enter and X clears this search query. And back, let's see. Yeah, on back, see when you click back, search remains, but when you open your search view, the query is empty, but actually you have a list you filtered, right? So we need to keep the current query and display it back. We can simply do it here, save it as a field. It's gonna be a field. Alright, here it is. And there is one more search view method that you can override. Set on search view listener, it's called. Let's see what methods we got. It's got on search view shown and closed. So when it's shown, you wanna set the current query back to display it here. What I want is to set to my latest search query. Set query. It takes char sequence, which is gonna be current query, and boolean submit, which means that I don't want to submit, just false, just display the current one. Let's try. Press back, open back, and the current query is here. Back. Yes, and it's saved. Clear it up. It remains. Alright, and now the question is, how do you go back to your initial list, right? There's two buttons. This one is just clears the search query, and this closes search view. And so you got quite a few entries for that. So you can implement it in here in on search view closed, which happens when you click this button, because when you submit, it doesn't close, as you see, nor does it close when you press X. It closes only when you press this button, which is gonna be our entry for clearing the search. And this is actually really easy. We're just gonna set our current query to empty string and set adapter, set countries to our initial list of countries, the whole list of countries, which is a unmodified list of. We don't touch it. Search back and our initial list here, and just a query string is empty. It's basically the behavior that you probably want to have. Why am I typing have? X. Yeah. And now let's just try a real-time search. So you probably would want to keep still the submit implementation. And here you should return true. Probably. Let's try one sec. Yeah, as you see, you don't need to submit, you just have a real-time search. And when you submit, same thing, clear the search. And basically that's it. I just really like this library. I think it looks great. It's really minimalistic, doesn't take extra space in your app. You can put it like a menu item, which expands when you need it, and it's just a small icon when you don't. Alright, click like if you like this, subscribe, and take care. See ya.